Yeah, a lot. So we're gonna go through it first. Who you want to hit on first, fellas? Y'all want to go KD? Y'all want to go Desmond Bane?
Let's start. I'll say the starting order. Let's go with Desmond Bane. Uh, 4 or 5 first round picks.
I believe it was five. Five.
Right
Is
now.
it second round or first round?
First round. Fuck them picks. He got the same deal. I think for Mikal Bridges.
Like Bridges?
Yeah,
Let me see.
I think it's that. Which is like smart in my opinion. So I'll take the first crack at it. I think
Yeah, four unprotected first round picks.
we're unprotected to Memphis. I think what they're doing and trying to build out there is getting definitely a ball handler. Their biggest need was definitely getting a guard that can create and get their own shot with ease. You lose Cole Anthony and you get off the money that this is all really off the strength. I'm not even looking at nothing. You get off the money of Colwell Pope, who unfortunately didn't give you what you need. But like really with the East being wide open, so Boston. I mean with Jalen Brown, I don't know why people like forget that Jalen Brown's the final MVP, but with Jason Tatum not being there, people feel like Boston not gonna be the same. So okay. Cleveland, unfortunately, lights are too bright, and I don't think you do. People forget that Darius Garland's going to be out for 5 to 6 months with a toe injury. Um, The pace is going down. Milwaukee, there's no Dame. People forgot Dame that also has an Achilles injury. So right now, Orlando really, I think, is seizing the moment, and especially having 2 players that are under 25 and can definitely score the ball. They definitely play defense. They just needed more shooting. So I think if they could also get some shooters, possibly they could sign during the offseason or develop some on their roster, Orlando's definitely going to be up there, in my opinion, of a team that's definitely going to be a
Detroit.
force to reckon with. And because the East is wide open right now. Like a lot of, huh?
Detroit.
Detroit, like I said, they have to. I think with Ivy coming back again, they're another team. Listen, mark my words. I told you, listen, man. Ali Shaddam has told y'all about these young teams coming up between Houston, Detroit. I mean, OKC already proved it about the youth movement. So,
Listen to me.
And also too, the next man.
I was about to say, you talking about Orlando and Detroit, man. You know where the towns, the towns gonna pop out.
I understand that, but I'm about to submit my resume to be a coach because we have no coach. What we doing?
Yeah,
Right.
that's another thing.
We got no coaching still.
Yeah, we interviewing like James Borrego or something like
Yeah,
that.
like which is not bad, but like once I think we solidify our coach, then we have some direction, in my opinion. But we got no damn coach. So,
Right.
but I know we're gonna be up there. Like we might be the #1 seed next year.
Potentially. I think Philly also has, we'll talk about that later too. They listen, they said they run it back with that trio, but to Desmond Bane,
You see the head nods?
to Desmond Bane.
DC, we know this man be tripping, so we're gonna let him have his
I mean, listen, Embiid,
What?
we all know it all starts with the health, bro. So, they have more than enough time this offseason to get it right. And Tyrese Maxey, you should be happy that he does not requesting a trade. But to Bane's purpose, I agree with what Ali said. I think Orlando, especially in that first round series, I think they played who they played? They played Cleveland. Was it Cleveland, I believe? Well, either way, the Magic DNA for the last couple of seasons has been rough basketball. It's been hard to watch on the offensive side. They have a lot of defensive upside, but they needed that shot creator, shot maker, and I think Desmond Bane is, for the very portion of the season when John Morant was hurt last year, the offense was ran through him. And he shoots the ball at a very high clip. He could shoot the three. He could also attack the lane. And I just think, Paolo and Franz will be more comfortable knowing that they have somebody else to their left and the right of them that could get, 15 to 20 easy. The KCP project was a fail. I love KCP and what he brings to the table in terms of being 3 and D, but it just didn't work out. And Cole Anthony, he's a pretty good spark off the bench, but I feel like if you get off of that, so I'm happy for Orlando. I think they seized the moment. I didn't see this trade coming. I don't think most of the league saw it coming. But it was obvious that Memphis was going through some changes, firing their head coach midway through the season. And it's clear that they had to choose between, Ja, Triple J, and Desmond Bane, and they decided to get rid of Bane, which, as again, was a shock to me. But of those 3 players, I think he was the most consistent, and we all know he could get 4 or 5 threes any night. Even though he got short arms and people crack jokes on him online, the guy can play ball, man. He's a tough player, so I think Orlando is happy to have him. And yeah, to Ali's point, you got, two Achilles injuries with Tatum and Halliburton. Who else is really going to be there in the East? I think the Magic, I think that's a team that you got to look out for that could potentially finish top four.
Every number emphasis. It's not enough. It's not enough.
You don't think so?
Decent move. But if Ben Carroll don't make this next leap in his career to carry this team in a deep playoff run, it's not enough. In my, to range it, KCP or Bane.
Right. I think you got to put Bane a little bit higher, bro.
For what? And what? How? And what category?
A ball handler that's a better playmaker. Like, you just bought KCP to literally just be in the corner and shoot threes and play defense. Like, Bane,
they needed more than that.
Who's a better shooter? Now I gotta look at the percentage now.
I think it's probably.
I would say Bane's a better
season,
shooter.
I think it'll definitely be Bane.
And then they also they got the other guy too. They got Jalen Suggs, so that'll be your backcourt right there. Suggs and Bane.
Well, I don't know. Bane is not known for his defense, but like,
he's scrappy though. He's scrappy.
But they got him for his offensive and ball handling. Like his. Also, I think around the roster, they're definitely gonna have to get like shooters. So no, I do agree. Like Banchero definitely is gonna have to like show the league I'm that guy. But I feel like he's always been in that direction. Like he reminds me of just he reminds me of a Melo.
I'm pulling these stats, I definitely need to know.
Or
KCP, 3-point percentage for this past season, 34.2.
Mm-hmm.
He was 39.2.
Come on, man. Basically 40%.
You're looking at 19 points a game, 6 rebounds. 6 rebounds for a guard is crazy. And then 5 assists. He probably gonna have more assists now because he's playing with Paolo. So,
and Franz Wagner.
To jump back in, the only thing for me about Paolo is, and this is from a fantasy basketball perspective, he need to work on the free throws, man. You shoot 3 for 9, 4 for 11. Listen, you can't leave points on the board if you're a young player. I know he had a crazy injury too, but he got off to a really great start last season. Until he had that oblique injury. Yeah,
I think.
Let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next blockbuster trade. Let's move on to KD. Let's talk about it.
This man always gets what he wants, by the way.
Because he listens. He does the job.
Where they trade KD to Houston and receiving. Phoenix received Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, number 10 overall pick, which is what's his command? Maluk.
Oh yeah, big man from Duke. Yeah.
I apologize. And then 5 future second round picks.
Fuck them picks.
I thought the trade now. New look, brand new Rockets with KD. And bring in an elite shooter and a vet presence. Obviously, NBA champion. What y'all take? How y'all feel about this move? Are we not happy for KD? Are we looking forward to the Rockets to be now in a top 3 seed again?
I think they could probably even get there to 1 with the youth they still have on the roster. So to me, Houston did a great job winning this trade by only losing out 2 players and a future pick. Because you still have, I think, your 2 cornerstones in Amon Thompson and Alex Sengun. And you keep a vet in Fred VanVleet to lead the way. You still got some youth on the bench with Eason. I think Eason's probably going to be a starter. Him or Jabari Smith, one of them guys going to be a starter. You still got Cam Whitmore also. So Houston did a great job, but y'all know me, I'll be like trying to figure out what's behind the scenes. So like after KD gave his demands, basically on teams, those 3 teams was like, we're gonna basically devalue him. Like they waited to the options got so low where you could just trade Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks and a first round pick for KD when at the end of the day, I think Phoenix wanted more. They wanted a haul. They wanted one of those Desmond Bane, Mikal Bridges type of deal. And the league was like, this nigga, he 30 plus years old. We ain't giving him nothing. He's coming over here on like what we think is what his value is. So it worked out best for Houston, in my opinion, because you're still primed for the future with a guy that's definitely probably still gonna give you 25 plus. As long as they don't run into the Warriors, I think they can definitely do something, man. They can definitely listen.
Leave them out of this, bro.
As
What,
long as
yo, DC? You see what I'm talking
as
about?
long as
What
Steph
the
Yo,
Curry's
hell?
alive,
That was your
yo,
like
take, bro?
yes, bro, check the numbers. The numbers speak for unless they if they don't run
Oh
into the
my
Warriors,
God,
the
yo,
Rockets
this
are
is
straight. Just tell them not to run into the Warriors, man, and they straight. I mean, he only
yo,
reason
this
also
guy, bro.
he liked the
listen,
coaching staff of Houston. Ime, a lot of people don't know Ime was on that team with him, Kyrie, and Harden. He was on the coaching staff, and also, it reminded me too. His best friend is on Ime's coaching staff, Royal Ivy.
You
He's
got
he was
Jeff Green, you got Steven Adams. So
right, right,
he
right,
has
right,
some
right,
ties there.
right,
They secretly, you know, put that together.
right.
I don't know if he was finished our lead, but I would say kudos to Raphael Stone, who's the GM of the Houston Rockets. He successfully completed a rebuild. I mean, we remember James Harden, those teams, Jason Terry, right? When, 30, 40 triple doubles for Harden and he requested out. 2023, they were running a lineup of Kevin Porter, Jalen Green. They had the second worst record in the league. They were the laughing stock of the league. Fast forward 2 years later, second best record in the West, right? You have a young trio of Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, and Sengun, along with Van Vliet.
yep.
I'm kind of hurt for Jay Green though. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a lot of pressure was put onto his playoff performance, and he didn't get it done against Golden State at the end of the day. But I feel like they put a lot on this young man at such a young age, and now to be traded, it's going to bring out the best of him or the worst in him because his confidence is not going to be the same. I'm just
Man,
going to
Nah,
start by saying
stop,
that. I'm just going to start by saying
stop
that.
worrying about. Listen, you talking about that? My take on the Warriors, man. Stop shooting up the club and focus on getting
I'm
basketball.
just saying
Let's
that don't
let's
got nothing to
let's
do with
focus
it.
on
That don't
that.
got nothing to do with
That
it.
got everything to do with that. They
It got
failed.
nothing to do with it. It
He
got
was
nothing to
too
do with it.
focused
Look,
on
look,
dumping.
Draymond
great.
had him in jail. All right,
He was dunking the wrong ball.
Listen,
Draymond
man,
had him in jail. So you know. I
Rockets.
just feel like, fellas, I feel like they kicked him to the curb a little too soon, bro. A little too
Nah,
soon.
he didn't. I don't think also that he had that dog in him that he may like. Like what Eamon was doing, that dog. Eamon likes people with dogs. Like he want dogs, and
He
they feel
still
like
can't shoot though.
Not like KD.
like
That,
who
that's
told you said Eamon can't shoot?
Yeah. I
Well,
mean, he's still got to work on the jump shot. That's
that's
not
what I'm
his
saying.
strongest strength. His
But y'all
strength
don't
is the playmaking and defense.
exactly because if he get a shot, oh damn, if you get a shot, it's over.
But
that's what the Rockets were missing last this playoff
yeah.
this playoff run, man. It was missing a lot of playmaking, a lot of down the stretch where they needed a bucket, and like you just said, Jalen Green wasn't able to get that bucket. So they win in this trade. I'm rooting for KD, man. I'm rooting for KD. I'm hoping that this is something that can push him to get close to another ring for his legacy. He got this young guy, young crew. He's familiar with a head coach that he played for in the past. Um, and definitely you seeing them in the top two seed. And you talking about matchup for the Warriors, bro? They could definitely match with the Warriors, bro.
Yeah, we say that
Now
now.
they can. Now they can.
Say that now until like I want you to understand how many like forms of the Rockets the Warriors have seen and eliminated. Okay,
But
I'm just
this is the beast of the beast, bro.
this is the beast.
Like
So
I said, this
forget
is
Pete
the
James Harden and that the team that he had.
well, as I said, that team had its deficiencies because they had PJ Tucker running the five. All right. You don't have to know basketball to know that's not going to win.
Now you
I'm,
got
I'm saying from the perspective of a rebuild, bro, to be running Kevin Porter, Sengun was still a baby at the point, and to finish second in the West, and then in that offseason, now you acquire one of the greatest scorers, if not the greatest scorer of all time.
And the
You're
only guy,
winning.
and the only guy I
Raphael
think
Stone, you are winning
the only guy that's probably bounced back from an Achilles injury, the only guy right now.
and got better.
I seen the statistics. Everybody else numbers dipped. So I'm praying for Halliburton and Tatum and also people forget Dame Lillard.
it's humbling because you know why? It now the word that we need to discuss is pace. So now dynamic shift when now after this injury, KD changes his pace. I feel like for the Rockets offense, this changes his pace. Now you got KD post up, back to the basket. All right, you got a bunch of slashes. All right, cutting. I see more assists for KD coming into this season. Um
But they
now
were always one of the slowest paces for the Rockets.
right, but now run it. Now you got the twin fast break.
Okay.
It just brings it down. You got young guys that's gonna run. Ime knows that. So and then I like the bench too as well for the Rockets.
Benches full of
That kind of
dogs.
gives them over the edge. So going back to the Achilles injury, it's pacing now. You got to change your game up. Halliburton got to change the game. Dame got to change his game. JT got to change his game. And whatever that looks like for them, they got to find that because now it's just a shift of, all right, how can I impact the game post injury? What do I need to do better? How can I be more efficient now shooting the ball? How can I be more efficient now being more of a playmaker, creating more for my teammates, et cetera, et cetera. But going back to KD, and for KD's point, I like it. I'm hoping that this is, like I said, another ring coming into his legacy, but we shall see. We shall see. But let's move on to another.
One more note on that though.
Oh yeah,
How interesting is it that Westbrook, Harden, and KD both play for OKC, and they both find themselves in Houston? I just find it funny. It's funny to me. At different points of their career, right? You have Harden, obviously, they had to rip that Band-Aid off. They didn't want to dip into the luxury tax. Further down the line, Westbrook joins him. It doesn't work out. The both of them leave. And then KD comes knocking a couple seasons. It's just crazy how, like, we look
something
at players like Chris Paul. We'd be like, oh, Chris Paul was the rainbow. Shaq was wearing the rainbow. Bro, the new NBA is player movement. There's outside of Braun, but even Braun, he moves around. There's not going to be one player that stays on a team forever. Maybe
Bron.
Giannis will try to do it, but it's just funny how the cycle of NBA as a business happens.
That's saying not even that. In fairness to Bron, there's only been literally 3 teams. Like these dudes are traveling like to different cities.
They're moving around. That's what I'm saying. It's funny to me. I saw that the other day. I said, I can't believe it that all of these dudes played OKC and now they're in Houston. So.
What you call it? Warriors had a trade earlier last season. Durant said he didn't want to go there, so they said they backed off. Timberwolves also, Ant Edwards said, come over to Minnesota. He said he don't want to go there. They were willing to give up Dillingham, and I don't know who else. But Minnesota was in the race, and he said he didn't want to go there.
Imagine that. Why do you think KD?
Again, for him it's about fit.
Yeah,
like he
wouldn't.
I think he fucks with Dame. I'm sorry, not Dame, Ant. But I don't think the coaching staff or the owner or even like other players on the team. Like think about it, coaching staff. He fuck with Ime. His best friend from college is on the coaching staff as well.
Jeff Green,
Steven Adams. Green. I'm sure he respects the hell out of Amen Thompson. He sees that Jabari Smith could be another one like him. Fred VanVleet played him in the finals. He was there when he popped his Achilles in Toronto. So like a lot of connections there. That's why I don't see the other connections. Warriors is like. Yeah, they like frenemies in my opinion. I don't think their relationship is real. Like between him and Draymond.
It ended bad.
Yeah, and then when they did that bullshit, like I don't believe they really close.
How y'all felt about one last thing, DC? How y'all felt about Miami not wanting to get rid of
Tommy Jaquez,
it was Kel'el Ware, Jovic.
For KD?
Yeah.
For KD, yes. So you would have what? Tyler Herro, Bam, and KD. And next year's East, hypothetically speaking, it's not enough, but it'll get you a playoff shot. But I think Houston was written in the stars, like you said, Ali. All those alignments, all those personal relationships. You want to go somewhere where you feel comfortable,
right?
And not to mention, KD's always been for the nightlife. He gonna be practicing his jump shot in a lot of them Houston clubs. I'll tell you that, right? I'll tell you.
I should have known though. When Drake moved to Houston, so I should have seen that connection coming.